Good morning, friends and family. Well, the rain has stopped here on Long Island, New York. The weather's been crazy all over the place, I know. We've been pretty lucky, although we did have some wild gusts up to 75 miles per hour. I personally have not received much damage, but the rain has let up. The sun has decided to shine through the clouds, and I'm gonna take a walk around and see what's going on in the garden, and I figured I'd take you along with me. So here we go. See, the hostas are coming up. They've uncurled, but are still not at their prime. And I see some are just showing. These are just different kinds, and you see they're just starting to peek through. I'll be putting some flowers in these pots here, or maybe some vegetables, but this is a pretty shady area, so probably some New Guinea impatiens or something. And this pot is the bleeding heart that I rescued from the deck area when we had the deck redone. I just threw it in the pot, and it's coming back beautifully, so I figured I'll keep it there. Same thing with this Honda. Same thing with this hosta. It was a rescue, and I just threw it in the pot. These hostas are uncurling, and these are new. The two king ferns and the Let's Dance hellebores. Let's see, they are First Dance hellebores. I don't think they're going to bloom this year. They're early spring. These are some mouse ear hostas. But this area is really coming to. Let me step back and show you. So these are new plantings that I planted in the rain of the Japanese grass. These hostas get huge, and then these will topple over and brighten this walkway because it's shady. It'll bring some color to this area. Same thing with this grass. That was an addition. I'm gonna get another one for here. And then at this trellis, I have wisteria planted. It was like the day after I planted it, that's when all heck broke loose with the wind. 75-mile gusts. I had to like drape it in fleece and stuff. You can see it got a little beat up, but hopefully it'll be okay now. And then I have all these tulips here, and the pots are very pretty. And this one, if you remember, I talked about the variegated leaf. The white outline, beautiful. It looked like a white tulip was gonna come out of it, but it is a red, yellow, and white tulip. It's absolutely beautiful. And of course I'm obsessed with orange this year. You can see there's green in there. And you can see the dark orange or reddish lines through that. And it's huge. I think it's big. Then the red ones are always striking. But this one, I'm obsessed with the leaves. I think I might have another one on the other side. Now past this trellis, I call this the bee garden, was the only reason I put this in, was because I had no bees for my vegetable garden. So if a lot of you guys don't know, I really am a vegetable gardener, and the flowers are secondary, but I seem to have got a little obsessed with the flowers lately. Trying to bring in the pollinators. I even cut down a bunch of big branches here. Well, not me. Cut down these branches to give this more sun, because it used to be sun, turned to shade, and now it's sun again. But I do have shady plants over here that I think are gonna get torched. I'm going to have to move them, or think about moving them. Then all this brush over here was removed, and I created a new garden area, and the sun beats on that for a good 6 hours, I believe, during the day. I'm trying to keep an eye on it to see how long the sun is there, though the sun is still low. But I created something I'm going to call the Squash Island. We'll take a walk back there. But first, check out these forget-me-nots. I just love how these are glowing. They just glow. And I think they expand every year. But if you don't want any somewhere, just pull it. Like if it's a little too close to these things, I'm gonna pull it, especially if I have a phlox. Phlox might be buried back there. They need air circulation around them. They get a lot of that mildew. But these forget-me-nots, I just love. I planted them last spring and they didn't bloom last spring, but here they are today. Just gorgeous, right? So this is new. This is called Tiny Parrot. I got this at Lowe's. It came in a $10, well, $9.98 pot, but there was 3 of them in the pot, so I actually separated them. Here's one standing here. Some daylilies. This hosta is going to get huge, so that I have to remember not to plant too close around it. I have some bearded irises coming up there. And here are some more of those tulips with the white lined leaves. And look. Just love those. Okay, I gotta back out of here. I tried to put little rocks where I can step because I got so many new little tiny plantings. Okay, so this is going to be phlox, daylily, hosta, phlox. This is salvia, perennial. And over here I have St. John's wort. I think I gotta cut that back, got a little crazy. And that is an herb. I'm wondering if I should put that in the herb garden. Though it does get beautiful yellow blooms all over it. That the bees love. And this is the bee garden. Phlox coming up there. And over here, the pretty color, bushy looking thing is Jacob's Ladder. This is its 2nd year. Let's take a look over there. Jacob's Ladder. Isn't that pretty? I just love those leaves. And here's some daffodils have seen better days. Astelbes. And this Astelbe is 3 years old. This one's 2 years old. I don't know why that one's not doing so good. Okay, let's back out. Okay, I have another hosta coming up there. And hellebores on the drip line there. Hellebores. And under here, I think this might be Love Lies Bleeding. It's got the red stems. There's one there. So I had a tray of 50 cells with all these seedlings growing in them. And I had them in the little greenhouse on the deck. I was trying to harden them off a little bit. And the wind came along, knocked the little greenhouse over, and that whole tray went all over the deck floor. Needless to say, I had to gather up all the soil, put it in one container, and I put it under lights back in the seedling area indoors, and things started popping up like crazy, and I didn't know what they were. I can't identify them except for maybe the beans. I can identify the dragon tongue beans. I'll show you those in a little bit. You know what? I was just looking at my seedlings that I regrew, and it looks like my beets are looking just like these seedlings here that I thought was Love Lies Bleeding. But these actually might be beets. I'm really convinced of that, but time will tell on that too. So who doesn't like a garden surprise? And I got some ferns growing over here, Japanese painted. That's probably an ostrich fern, because those are the ones that I really like. A huge hosta coming up here. Hostas. And this hydrangea, I bought fully bloomed, of course, early in the spring, so it was forced. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be it for the year, and hopefully I'll get some blooms next year. So this is going to be the squash island. I'm going to have zucchinis and patty pans and crooknecks and other things. Back here, I'm going to do all sunflower seeds for now, because I do want to get rhododendrons eventually along here. But these were in that pan I told you about that I just had to pick up the soil. These started coming up, and I'm pretty sure these are the tall teddies I planted. So I'm pretty sure that's what they are. So time will tell, right? So this is Squash Island. I'm also going to plant some beans here and beans here, the bush beans, because this is a new hot sunny area and I don't have to crowd things in my other garden. This little lady has not laid any eggs yet. So that's the bee garden and Squash Island. What else is back here? This is the bleeding heart that got damaged when we put in the new deck last April, but you would never know it was damaged. These hostas could be separated. Okay, some daylilies and irises, and I'm pretty sure I have some butterfly weed coming up somewhere here. I had planted some black-eyed Susans here. That'll be pretty. And these are the other lilies over here that I planted. See, it was 3 in a pot. I put 2 here because they were very close together and I didn't want to risk damaging them. But the one that was really separated is in the bee garden. Okay, so on my left is the in-ground vegetable garden, but over here is the herb garden. And I call this the half moon garden because I plant all white petunias around here, and I put white flowers here, and at night the white just pops in the moon. So I call this the half moon garden. So I have, you know, parsley and rosemary and oregano, and then I have thyme over there, and we have the perennial, well, some of them came back, but the lemon balm, and I think this was I keep wanting to say savory. What the heck is this called? But whatever it is, it's already bulting and flowering. Savory sorrel. I think this was the sorrel. Yeah. And of course, lots of basil. That space over there is reserved for the basil. This is called a moonphlox. It's low growing phlox, and it's more of a bush instead of like the taller phlox. Though it's not the real low phlox like the carpet phlox, it's not that. And lots of sage over there. Here's sage, and I just love this color. Okay, so over here, this whole bed here is the brassica bed, so I can hoop it and cover it with fleece, try to get those the white butterflies off them this year. Try to be a little smarter about that. So I got lots of cabbage and Brussels sprouts and cauliflower and kale. Kale. We're very big on kale. Speaking of kale, that's the Italian kale, you know, the dino kale. And I'm letting it go to seed, letting it flower so it turns to seed, so I can save the seeds for next year. Let's see. So the bees are actually loving that already. I had one bumblebee desperately trying to find flowers around here earlier. So that's the brassica bed. Over here are the turnips, 2 different kind of turnips. They're coming up. Oh, I have a red cabbage there. I just stick them anywhere. And then these are all different kinds of carrots. And they're coming up. And I'm gonna have to thin those too. Yeah, look at that. They're gonna need some thinning. And I'm gonna put carrots in containers and in other areas. And like succession plant, we're big on carrots. They're so fun to harvest. These are all onions, whites and reds. And they're all standing up finally. Took a while, but they're doing good. And then I have all the lettuce over there. Peas and the jelly cucumbers, which are just like little round spiky things that taste like pomegranates or something like that. Very sweet. So that'll be fun to have. I'm gonna have the red Kentucky pole beans up this trellis here, the first one, and then the cucumbers, the funky cucumbers on the second one. Strawberries are back there, and my tall celery is finally germinated in the soda bottle. That was an overwintering experiment, and it's just now germinating. I'm gonna have to find a home for that too. Okay, so it's running on 20 minutes. I think I'll save the raised garden bed tour for the next upload. Oh, I did want to show you the little greenhouse. So this little greenhouse on the deck, let me show you. Okay, So it was a windy day. I had my things in there and the wind came, picked us up, and bam, on the floor. I had to pick up all the soil. Now I'm risking again, but I did put some rocks in here and some heavy stuff to hold it down. But still, for precaution, I have this bungee cord on the railing of the deck, and I stretch it around and hook it here, because last year that happened to my onions, and this year to over 50 plants, and it was just heartbreaking. So I don't want to deal with that again. So that was a hard lesson learned. So this is very convenient, but I'm telling you, secure it. These are the dragon tongue beans that were in that mess that fell on the ground. I mean, they weren't even up when I gathered the soil. Then as soon as I gathered the soil and put them under lights inside, they were the first to pop up. And then I have more inside. I could show you what else popped up, but same thing with these. I'm not sure if these are cucumbers or squash. So they're a mystery. I'm gonna put them back in Squash Island. These popped up in the original pan that I put inside, and I don't know what they are, but I lined them up in here as threes. They might be flowers. I'm not sure what they are. Anyway, I'm gonna be closing this soon because there's peppers in here. So it's still a little chilly out for them. These look like they're suffering. Oh, pepperoncinis. I'm gonna get this inside today, I think. So, that's it for today. This one beautiful day in April. I'm pretty sure the rest of the week is going to be cloudy, and I hope May will bring more sunshine. I'm sure May will bring more sunshine, actually. But thank you for walking around with me. I appreciate all my subscribers. I appreciate anyone who just stops in, admires, comments. I really love it. Thank you very much. Have a great day.